Welcome back to the channel. All right, the thumbnail and the title have made it very clear what this video is going to be about, and I will do it as succinctly, hard to say, as I possibly can. There'll be timestamps in the description. You can jump to whatever topic you want. I made my community post on it, and it was really helpful because I wanted to buy myself a little time, collect my thoughts on it. I did know that this might be coming. If you've seen my videos the last like 4 or 5 months, you're aware that this was happening. I was becoming very disheartened with the game. And a bit of like disillusioned, I think might be the term. The topics we will be covering today is, why am I leaving? What am I doing with my creator code? Do not use it. It no longer exists, but I will give you some codes you can use for some great content creators. Will I be at Summoners Fest? Is the game dead? Other CCPers, because I think that's important to not like splash on them, have unintended consequences from this. I have left before. This feels like an abusive relationship, which I'm laughing even though I shouldn't, but because it's real and I get you. Plans moving forward, and then how will the boycott end? The one thing I want to say before we jump into all of that is that this is now not going to become an anti-Kabam channel. You're not going to tune in tomorrow knowing how I will tell you to hate them or to love them. We will continue to do what we have done for, I think, almost 6 years now, actually. Is we will be nuanced, we will think critically, I will not be scared to tell you what I actually think, even if it upsets you, and clearly upsets Kabam. And the beauty is, it doesn't matter anymore on that regard anyway, and so that will stay exactly the same. Why did I leave? I left because I was very clear with you, and I told you all that when creator codes came to the game, I was very excited, but that if at any point in time, I felt like my integrity or my principles, or was I doing it for the money, started to come into play, I would open my eyes, I would look at it, and I would think critically, and I will, and you know me, I will voice my opinions, I will voice them aggressively if I have to. And that definitely started to happen. It started to happen. It unfortunately happened almost immediately. And so as a result, and because of the behavior and the way I'm treated, like I became aware that Kabam was not going to kick me from the CCP. That became obvious because I think they realized it would have been very, very dumb to actually kick me, but to try to make me very, very uncomfortable, to have any sort of feedback I left come from a variety of places of disagreement and just, in my opinion, very, very strange takes that you have to make some strong logical jumps to take them defensively or to then attack me from. But I was in a place where I clearly did not think the way the rest of the group thought. And even though I really liked the creator codes, I felt like it was important enough that I respect myself, my integrity, my thoughts, and my principles, and I leave the CCP. Creator code. Mine no longer exists. Please do not use it. For the time being, I would like it if you use MCoC Encyclopedias, which is MCoC and then the letter E. Remember, all lowercase. They do a phenomenal job. There are a variety of content creators that we will be supporting on this channel. Every single month, I'll pick a different one. MCoC Encyclopedias, who we'll be using for October, and it's going to be up to me, and maybe you guys can tell me too, but we'll be sticking with people who I think are doing a phenomenal job, who I think are being very, very fair, who I think are helping you progress through this game, and who I think's integrity isn't open to compromise or doesn't seem to be in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, as I said, MCoC Encyclopedia, whose code is MCOCE. And if you haven't used Simulas, like I asked you last month, please go ahead and use Simulas in place of mine as well. Will I be at Summoners Fest? No. Absolutely not. I don't even want to be in a chat Discord with the rest of the CCP and the people that are on there. I definitely don't want to be in a physical place. I'm sure I would have been fine, like safety-wise and those sorts of things. In fact, my trip to Vancouver was going to be paid for me, but kind of like what I said, creator codes can get me to do this sort of thing, and a trip to Vancouver sure as hell isn't going to do it. I will miss seeing you, and I am sorry because I was very excited about doing that with you all. This question was asked on the community post, is the game dead? I think this is really hard with games to say like when a game dies, aside from like when they literally close down the servers, right? We're in uncharted territory with live service games and those sorts of things to begin with. We've seen a variety of games close. We've seen Kabam close. A variety of games. They've put so much money and time into this, and they do still have a player base who's still, let's say, the habits they have formed for this game prevents them from even considering constructive criticism and seeing it as like hate speech. that I think the game can last quite a bit longer. But as I answered in the community post, I actually think, there's the term jumping the shark. It's an old term, look it up. To keep this video shorter, I'm not going to explain it all, but it basically means like, when you look back, when is it that the thing died? The thing was over. This was the sign that like it was over. I think it was when they didn't rebalance Serpent. The designer of Serpent actually stated on my Discord, it blew my mind, that Luke Cage was supposed to be able to turn off Serpent's second life. Luke Cage can get 2 concussions, and I had been led to believe that Luke Cage could turn it off, which was part of why I came down the way I did on Serpent, thinking he was too much, but that they had a plan. Well, then literally later, the designer of Luke Cage and Serpent explained that actually they misunderstood ability accuracy, and that Luke Cage could not guarantee turn off Serpent. And that's when I realized they had no plan. And I'm not betraying confidences. That's not what I'm about. This wasn't in DMs or private things. This was literally written on my Discord server that I used to own, and I gave to someone else because I was hoping to have a good place for people to talk about the game and enjoy, that I had built, that I think had anywhere from 1,100 to 1,300 people on it. And so when the designer of the 2 champions went ahead and said that, I realized they had no plan. And when I realized that Kabam wasn't going to go back and fix this, I was like, they don't know what they're doing. And so, yeah, the game may last for years. I hope it lasts another 6 years. But I do believe that was the beginning of the end, however long it takes to get to the end. Other CCPers. This is all personal. Also, I think really one thing to point out, and I think it's very important, is you guys have known me. I don't think I'm necessarily outspoken, but I will say what I think. And so when, if let's say hypothetically, they tried to get us to do something, you didn't have to do it. A lot of people would choose maybe not to do it. And I think that's how the vast majority of people are. They just be like, well, I'm just not going to participate. That's enough. Where I'm someone who would go out and be like, this is a really dumb idea. I don't think this should be happening. I think you're going to actually cause negative consequences for all of the CCP if you go forward with this, and potentially the whole game. And so because I'm someone like that, because I will do that and speak my mind in that way, shape, or form, I think it's natural that a group of people who are not interested in hearing these ideas would kind of make things, they didn't make me uncomfortable because I really don't care what they think, but make it so that it's a place where I don't want to be. I don't want their money. I don't want any of it. And so I don't want this to fall upon, I mean, there are so many great content creators, right? We've got like MCoC Noob and MCoC Encyclopedia, Simula, Legacy, Nagase, right? And there's more. Don't look into the fact that I didn't name someone. I just couldn't think of them in the moment. And I think you should feel very comfortable with them still being them. Think about it. They were this way before the channel started, and they're this way afterwards. None of them like quit the game and then just mysteriously came back or anything like that, right? Everyone has been really, really transparent. No one's trying to sell you on like, like Kabam's selling emojis. No one's trying to tell you like how hyped the emojis are and how great the sale is because you should participate in it. No one's doing that. And so I would encourage you and urge you to just take this video as me, my thoughts, what I'm doing. And then when you go and interact with the other YouTubers, completely judge them and interact with them based on what they have shown you from before codes went live and afterwards. I was asked, is this like the 5th time you've left the CCP? It's not the 5th time. I get it, though. I do that, too. I exaggerate for fun. It's a good time. I enjoy it. And yes, I have left the CCP before. What I will point out to you, and I have to respect my NDA, and I'm also a big believer in respecting privacy, is if you think about when I left and came back in various times, we're on our 4th new community manager since then. And a lot of my issues were, and continue to be, on the treatment of players, the respect of their value, the way they are talked to, the way they're treated on the forums, the way they're treated in the posts, the way they're treated in MCoC Discord, and the way they're just in general treated and talked to. And if something that Kabam's putting forth feels like gaslighting, I can't say for sure that they're intending to gaslight us, but I can say this is how it's coming across. And so there are also other private things that got me to go back. Promises that were made, apologies that were given, those sorts of things. And so I will address this in the next say, but what I will say is, I mean this, I have left. I have literally no intentions going back. And in the next segment, I will address what would get me to go back. What would get me to go back? Massive, massive apologies, massive, massive assurances the sort of behavior that led to all of this will be done. I'm talking probably like 4, 5, 6 months of demonstrated great game. I've done multiple videos lately. The one literally that earlier this morning was on like how I would fix the game. I will link the whole playlist that I've been accumulating for the spending freeze. It's now obviously a boycott in the description. You can check that out. If all of those are implemented and all that stuff happens, or let's maybe say they're like, dude, we need help. We don't know how to fix our game. Will you please come back and help us? I would consider it. Do I think any of that is going to happen? Absolutely not. I think if anyone from Kabam is watching this, they are probably laughing their ass off because I think that's how they think. That's kind of what it feels like. But I did want to address that in case, hey, I'm a hopeful person. I always hope for the best. And so I would love the idea that the game is so good or Kabam is so open to feedback that I actually go back to the CCP. I think that would actually be a good thing for all of us. There's a comment about this being an abusive relationship. I completely, and again, I think that's humor to kind of prove a point. Obviously, it's a bit exaggerated. Abusive relationships aren't something to make fun of in themselves, but comparing this game to one, it totally makes sense. In fact, a fellow MCoC content creator, a friend of mine, sent me this video today. I will also link it in the description, and it completely explains the relationship that it feels like we have with Kabam when it comes to MCoC, my playing of the game. And despite liking different aspects of it, it has become more and more transparently just a game that's almost intended to not be complete, a series of promises that are never met and never intended to be met, a series of roadmaps and seasons and things like that that come with constant bugs, never reach the end, never reach the conclusion, and in an attempt to keep us on a basically a hamster wheel with the sunk cost fallacy. And so, yeah, I am basically saying I'm not going to be part of that. If I don't see a demonstrated effort to actually improve the game, to treat the players with respect, it doesn't have to be in the way that I said, but I need those things to be priority goals. And I in no way feel like those are priority goals for Kabam. The plan moving forward on my channel is I have also talked to a couple of the content creators who are like, hey, you know, making videos free to play, it's not easier. Of course, being in the CCP makes things a lot easier because there's the testing map, the ability to rank up resources. Like, this is the carrot that Kabam gives us for being in the CCP. And I will admit, it is significantly easier to make videos. But I'm going to keep up the tier list. I'm going to keep up the thought pieces. I'm going to keep up the champion reviews. We might have to get to the point where like I go and I get the 3-star from the arena and then we test them. And honestly, I think that's probably a pretty decent test for moving forward for the vast majority of players. And then, of course, I'm going to continue with my Alliance Upside. I'm hopeful that I'm having so much fun with my Alliance Upside, which I have been having a lot of fun in. I'm having so much fun with you on this channel, putting out those videos, doing those sorts of things, that I don't even care about what Kabam does or doesn't do because I'm not spending anyway, and we are having an absolutely fabulous time. We'll see. If I stop having fun or if for some reason you stop watching the videos, I'll reevaluate at that time. And then the last part, this spending freeze, I promised you that I would not spend until at the earliest. I would consider it after Cyber Weekend. That is the usually the day after Thanksgiving in the United States of America in November. I will consider it after that sale ends, not participating in that sale. I promised you that. I mean that. Nothing will change my mind. Now, how could this boycott end? And am I encouraging you to join the boycott? I'm going to stay with my own advice, which is if you are enjoying the game and it fits within your discretionary budget, I don't think you should feel shame in spending on this. I don't think one person or 2 people or 3 people is going to boycott to get Kabam to do anything, but I am going to use that word, and I've learned from the last time. I need to be incredibly clear about what I'm boycotting for. You guys know it. There's a whole playlist for all the various reasons. And also, how will I end that boycott? How will I decide to ever spend again on this game? And here is literally how it's going to be. You're going to decide. I'm not kidding. It will be you. It will be my channel members. At the beginning of each month, when my first stream of each month, I will gift 50 channel memberships. I have the lowest level is $1, and I will gift that because I don't just want the whales and the spenders or the people with large discretionary incomes to be making this decision. I think they're probably the people that are more likely to be interested in spending, and they might want to see it more. And that is not what I want going forward. That is what this channel is about this players and their time and their money, time and money being respected. So every month, in the first stream of the month, I will gift 50 1-month memberships to my channel. I will then put up a poll for members only where you all will vote. Should Vegas spend this month or no? And there will be a variety of spending options. If you all vote to end the boycott and I'm having fun, then I will consider spending. If you all vote no, the boycott needs to stay, doesn't matter. I will not spend. I promise you that. It will not change. And I know some of you don't believe. I know that, and I get that, and I respect that. I accept that. There was a lot of misinformation last time. There were some hack job videos done on it last time that made it like they really hid the truth behind it all, and that I was very clear with what I was boycotting. But I get that, and I respect that. And any time this is brought up again, I'm just going to point everyone to this video where I was abundantly clear, and I'm going to repeat it because I know I threw a lot in there. The first stream of each month, I will gift 50 memberships. I think right now I have around 30 to 40, I don't know, channel memberships, but it's less than 50 members. I will gift 50 memberships because I do not want just large spenders, large discretionary income making this decision. That shall be somewhere over 50 members. I will then put up a members poll. We'll give it like 48 hours. And the members will be able to decide, should Vegas spend? And if I spend, it'll be like enough to buy the sigil, then maybe like a couple $100, and so on and so forth. And whichever one wins, I will consider. I need to both have you all vote for the boycott to end, and also for me to be having enough fun. I think if over half of my channel members vote for a boycott to end, and for me to be having fun, then that's probably a sign the game's in a pretty good place. As usual, let me know what you think I got right. Let me know what you think I got wrong. Or if there's any other questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.